All right, guys. So my name is Kate with Scott Leroy Marketing. Today, I'm going to be going over command designs with you. With that, we are going to take a look at how to create a couple of things within designs. We're going to focus on creating an email signature, as well as a social post through the command platform under designs. So that's what we're going to take a look at today. So let's go ahead and jump into command and get started. So if you are not familiar with Command, which hopefully you're semi-familiar at this point, that website for Command is agent.kw.com. I did go ahead and drop that in the chat for you guys just in case you need it. From here, the first thing that we want to do is we want to head into designs. So if you're not familiar with this menu bar on the left-hand side, you can hover over these different icons to find what you're looking for. You can also hit this red and white KW. That's going to expand that menu bar so you can find what you're looking for that way as well. Again, headed into designs for this class today. So it looks kind of like a paintbrush with a canvas behind it. You can hit that red and white KW to close that bar as well. Now in here, you're seeing some previously created designs in our command account. If you don't have anything here yet, or maybe just one design, that is totally fine. These will start to add new designs as you're creating different marketing within the command platform through designs. Here you can search for different designs though, previously created by you. You can also filter to certain types of designs. So there are 4 categories. You have email designs, social, print, and video. So you can filter to each of those to find those specifically. Now over here to the right, we can also sort these if we want to see oldest to newest, newest to oldest. We also have the option to change how we see this dashboard here. We can do the kind of table-like, or we can do the tiles. So you have both of those 2 options. And you're also going to have the import design option as well as create new. To get us started, we're going to hit import design. That's going to be our first step. Now we're not actually going to import a design, but this brings us into the WeBrand section. You can see that in our search bar up top. This is where you create your designs. It's also where you can view all of your previous designs as well. So they're not just out in command, they're also going to be displayed here. So once we're in this browser, you'll see that up top we have a KW with a drop down. This is if you're on a team, you'll have a different workspace for this. So if you don't have 2 options, that's totally okay. That is going to be for team accounts. You're going to have templates. We're going to come back to the templates. You'll have images. These are kind of where you can come to find different stock photos. You'll also have your projects, which is where we previously were. This is where you can find all of your past designs that you've created in here. You can also organize them if you want to. If it's something you may be repeating and using again, maybe a great idea to come in here and kind of organize those. With that, you can also create new, choose from templates. You can import designs. When you're importing, it can get a little funky with some of the fonts if they're not available in command, so just keep that in mind. You can also remove backgrounds from images, which we're going to take a look at when we take a look at our assets, which is where we want to head into. So before we create our design, we want to make sure our assets are up to date. So your assets are what allows you to easily pull information into your designs. This can be text, this can be color schemes, this can be your photos, things like that. Anything you're using on a regular basis when you're creating these designs in command, having them in your assets is going to save you a lot of time. So we have company assets. We also have our own. So briefly, we'll go through the company ones. They have colors and fonts, which you're seeing on the screen now. They have their color palette here. They also have some fonts that they've provided for you guys to be able to use. So you can select from any of those when you're creating designs. They're going to be available in that design space for you. Now you also have some images. These are going to be like stock photo type images that you can use. So you can add these into your designs. There are a ton in here. As you can see, there's also some folders if you're looking for specific categories or information, you can kind of go through those. They have some holiday stuff. Um, if you're looking to promote your app, you can find images for that. So you get the idea, but there's going to be different categories with those photos as well. Now, next, there is text. When it comes to the KWRI assets, the only one they have is the ownership statement, that each office is independently owned and operated. As I'm sure all of you know, most of all of your marketing needs to have that in most cases, but always check with your compliance broker in charge, somebody like that in your office to make sure what is required for your marketing versus what is not. That way you know how to proceed with your marketing. You also have some logos. Now, when we're taking a look at the ones provided by KWRI, you'll see that we have some K-Score, we have Keller Williams University. You'll find Red Day in the events. I think that's the only one. You'll find luxury logos. Your equal housing and NAR logo are going to be within here. Labs, as well as some generic Keller Williams logos. So you can come here to access those as well. Elements. These are going to kind of be like icons, symbols, those kind of thing. Generally, if you're creating different marketing, a lot of times you're going to be including your phone number or maybe email address on those. So there's some different icons you can use to identify those bits of information instead of typing it out or using, an E or something like that. So these come in handy for that. You can add videos as well as files to your assets as well if you're using those frequently. KW does have the style guide and design addendum that you can view here. Now let's jump into my assets. All right, so we have the same different categories. However, we get to create our own. So if you have branded yourself, if you have a logo created, if you just want some consistency with your marketing to kind of stand out, but also to have everything, like I said, consistent, this is a great way to do it. So if you had a logo created, you can add that here, which we'll take a look at in the logo section, but you can also add your own color schemes. So if you did have a brand or a theme that you wanted to go for yourself, you can create those and add those here. That way you can easily pull those exact colors into your marketing. So to do that, you just hit add palette. And you can start kind of creating this. So we'll just do rainbow today to keep it easy. And as you can see, I'm just selecting the color and grabbing it. If you had a logo created, you can also use this dropper and pull from your logo or something like that. If you've already had that created, that is a great way to make sure you're using those exact colors. I meant to put that one as blue. And put this one as purple, and I'm just kind of picking random colors, but that is how you would create that. Now you can rename it. You can also remove it. So if you created one by accident, you want to get rid of it, you can go ahead and delete it that way. Okay. You can also select your own fonts. So again, another great way to be consistent, you can search from the fonts available here. So if you were to come here and search through these, you find one that you really like, you can go ahead and just toggle it on. Go ahead and just select a few of these and hit add. It's going to add all of those fonts here to your assets. Should see them up at the top. If you added one by accident, you can of course delete it. No big deal. You can also upload fonts from the web. So if you found them externally, you can go ahead and add them this way. Now, next we have images. This is going to be where you're going to want to add your headshots. If you're using your QR codes on a lot of marketing, this is going to be a great place to come and add those because again, it just makes it 10 times easier and faster for you when you're creating your marketing. QR codes are great to put on social posts or flyers, anything like that, specifically flyers because people could scan it and be redirected to your website. But also just adding your headshot. This is a great place to add them to pull in. Now, we talked about removing a background. We can use Scott's photo here as a great example. If we click these three dots, we can go ahead and remove background. We'll give it just a second because it usually takes a minute. As you can see, we have another headshot now of Scott that has a background removed. So it's super simple. It'll add it straight into your designs. So that's an easy way to go ahead and utilize that feature. Now clicking on that, you can also use view, download, duplicate, copy, etc. So tons of options there. I'm going to go ahead and delete this one as well. Within here, you can also create folders. So if you work with preferred partners often and you create marketing that includes them, if you have a team or something like that, you can certainly add additional photos for those types of things in here to where you can pull them into your designs. To add assets, you just simply click add asset. You can select where you're pulling that from and go ahead and upload it. Next is text. This is a great place for you to add text that you're adding to your marketing often. So if you're adding your branded consumer app link, if you're adding your bio, phone numbers, emails, things that you don't necessarily want to remember every time, but you want to be able to easily pull them in, this is a great place to go ahead and get those added. So you can come in here and plug those in. Next is logos. Now you should have a specific logo to your market center. Here's a great place that I like to go ahead and show you guys where to find those if you're not familiar. So for that, we'll open a new browser and we're going to go to kwconnect.com. Now, KW Connect is different from the Connect within your command platform, so just keep that in mind. They are separate. Once we're in KW Connect, you should be logged in if you're logged into command already. From here, though, you want to go to resources and down to marketing. And once we click on marketing, the top option we have is logos and branding. So we'll go ahead and click that. It's going to open a new browser for us. And from here, we're just going to scroll down until we find this search bar in the middle of the screen. Now, here's where you can enter either your market center number or the name of your market center, and you can pull your marketing that way. We'll just type in random numbers today. We'll do 65. Let's see, Cherry Hill. I don't think I've used that one before. Now from here, we can go ahead and preview that and take a look at it, make sure it's the correct logo. We can also just go ahead and download that. And let me change my sharing here just to make sure that it shows you. I want to make sure you see the folder when I download it. So it downloaded the folder. I have Cherry Hill up here. I'm going to go ahead and open that. It's a zip folder. And let me get that pulled onto the correct screen. Give me 1 second. There we go. So now that I've got that folder on my computer, I have a couple of different folders. Now we're going to take a look at these top two. If I go into black and white, you're going to see that I have some different logos and formats for this office. So different colors. You'll see these are going to be the black and white ones. So a couple different options. We have one with a white background. So no matter what I put that on, it's going to have a white background. We also have these transparent options. So when I put those on, they're not going to have anything behind them except for whatever I'm putting them on top of. Now, if I go back to my folder and go into the CMYK one, I also have some color options. So different colors, different formats. Again, white background, transparent. This allows you to have all of the available logos. So no matter what marketing you're creating and no matter what color your background is, you're going to be able to see your logo clearly. For example, if you have a red background, that red KW might be a little bit hard to see. If you have a gray background, as you can see when I hover over this, the rest of it's hard to see. So this allows you to have all of those available. So now let's go back to command and let's go ahead and get these added. Now I like to add a new folder, Cherry Hill, and it will add that right here. And I can go into that. Now we're going to go ahead and just add those assets. So I'm going to go and pull them from my computer. We're going to go right into this folder. I'm going to get all of these black and white ones that are available. And then I'm going to do add more. I want to get the rest of them. So I'm going to come back and get these color options. Now I have a total of 7 files. I'm going to go ahead and upload all 7. And now I have all of those logos easily accessible, and I'm able to pull whatever logo is going to work best with the marketing that I'm creating. Quick disclaimer with the logos. Not every market center is going to have all of these options available. However, whatever is available on KW Connect is going to be what is available. So I'm not sure why some market centers don't have all colors. It may be due to compliance or local rules, but just keep that in mind if you're not seeing every option that I have here. Okay. Now, again, this is a great place if you have your own branded logo as well to get those added. Next is elements, same as the KWRI icon symbols. You can create your own or just use what's available. If you have videos or files, you can add those here as well. Okay, so now we're going to go back to command and let's go ahead and start creating our marketing. Now we have all of our assets there and ready to go. We're going to head back into designs. And this time, instead of hitting import, which we could do, we're going to hit create. And we're doing social. We're going to create the email signature first. So social is what we're going to go into, and we're going to hit next. And once this loads, you'll see that this screen, sometimes it will bring you to projects, sometimes it will bring you to templates. Usually I feel like it brings you wherever you left off. So we were in projects last. We're just going to head into templates. So this is now where you can find all of KW's available templates that you can start customizing and making your own. I do like to mention, just because it says coming soon doesn't mean it can't be for an open house. So again, these are templates. They give you a starting point. You are able to customize them and edit them however you see fit. Just make sure you are following your local compliance. You'll see that there are different categories over here. And when you click that drop down, it's going to have additional categories for you to find what you're looking for. Maybe you're looking for holiday posts, which we may come back and take a look at. But for our first design that we're going to create, we're going to head into business basics. Now in here, you'll see that there are some recruiting assets, which are apparently empty currently. I think that one's new. We have email signatures. We have business cards. So if you want to create your own, you can come here. There are letterheads available. Social branding. So if you're looking for Facebook cover photos, LinkedIn cover photos, you can come here and find those. And if you just want a virtual background for your Zoom, you can come here and find one. We're going to take a look at these email signatures though. And I'm going to go ahead and use this red one here. Not a ton of options, but a couple. And let's go ahead and start editing this. So I want to point out that your banner up here will change as you're clicking on and editing different pieces of this design. If you click out into the white space off of your design, this banner that you're seeing now is going to be what is available. So you have drawing, shapes, frames for photos, and text. As we start clicking on these, it's going to start to change that banner. Now over here on the left, we have our different components. So we have our images, we have text, logos, elements. We can go to the KWLS and pull in listing details. We can create animation. If you're using animation, be mindful of the type of marketing you're creating. Obviously, if you're creating something for print, animation is not going to work. And there is also a support option. Now with each of these, there is also different categories in here. So under images, we have stock photos. Now these are actual stock photos. If we click workspace, these are going to be those KWRI assets that we previously looked at. So we have the same folders and images that were available. We also have our assets. Text, you have add new. That's going to allow you to add brand new text to the design. There's just different sizing for that. So if you're looking for a body of text, depending on which one, it's just going to arrange the sizing. You can still change the sizing, so keep that in mind. Banners. These are kind of like stickers in my opinion. That's kind of what they look like or remind me of, but you can use these and edit them on your designs. You have the KWRI assets as well as your own. Same for logos. Anytime you see workspace, that's going to be those KWRI assets, company assets. And then your own, you'll see we have folders and then the rest. Same thing for elements. We have some stock ones. We have the KWRI and our own. KWLS, we're going to come back and take a look at this when we create a social piece, but you'll see it has listing and snapshot. We can kind of go through those. Now that we've kind of gone through these, let's start just making our edits. So the first thing we want to do is replace our photo. Let's go ahead and grab Scott. Now, if I'm clicked on the photo and I hover over the image I want to use, I should get a replace image. That will allow me to swap that photo for that photo. So it just replaces it exactly. If I'm not clicked on the photo and come over here, I don't have that feature and I just add new, that's going to add it to the top of the design. Let's get our logo. Go ahead and find Cherry Hill. We're going to do the same thing. We're going to replace. We can leave realtor. Let's go ahead and we're double clicking to get this name. I want to show you that you can also click on that and find the typewriter. That will open a box where you can also edit the text that way and save changes. So a couple of options there. I'm going to leave the license number alone and the address. We'll go ahead and come down here. I'm going to leave the phone numbers as well. Let's go ahead and change the email. Now, as you can see, it's wrapping my text because I have more text than what fits there. I can simply just drag this box and then move this over. So you can always shift things around. In fact, when I'm creating these designs, I like to move our logo over here. I like to move our name up. A lot of people don't like this line. I'm going to leave it, but I am going to move it over here. Again, these are templates. Come in here, create them, edit them, however you want. Again, just always make sure you're checking with your compliance officer, broker in charge to make sure that you are good to go. Move the address up. Now you can also change your text. So if I click on this, I can come up here and find a different font if I want to. Let's see, let's just grab one. I can make that bigger if I want to. Oops, grabbed the wrong thing. There we go. Now, instead of my app link, I'm going to go ahead and put my QR code. So I'm going to delete this. This is one thing I like to do when I'm creating these. So if I go ahead and throw this QR code on here instead, you can make it whatever size you want. I'm going to go ahead and drag this over. You can also zoom in. Now this has a couple pieces. I'm going to hit Shift on my keyboard and try to grab all of these pieces. However, some of these tiny ones can be really hard to click on. There we go. Move this over. Now you can also change the color of these. So again, if you've branded yourself, if you have your own colors, you could come up here, grab the color. Now it's going to have the library. You can find your palettes. So this is the KW one. We also have our palettes. So if we wanted to look at the ones from today, say we want to make this blue today, we can go ahead and do that. If we want to change this to be, let's say, yellow, you can come in here and edit these. So once your email signature is done though, and you like how it looks, you can go ahead and download this and start using this. So, couple of questions, just going to check out really quick. Is it better to edit this way than in Canva? Danielle, that's a personal preference. They're both great. I use both of them. So whatever you prefer to use. The line here was already here. I just moved it. It was kind of going into the photo, so I just shuffled it over. However, if you were looking to add lines, you should be able to find those under shapes. You can usually just grab this one. You can resize it to be smaller and make it bigger. So that is a great option if you're wanting to add additional lines. Oh, I just did on my keyboard. I'm sorry. I thought you were talking about the other line. It's on my keyboard above enter. I'm not sure what it's called, but I always use that when I'm trying to separate information. Um, okay. We'll keep going. So now that we have our design created, we can go ahead and download this. So I'm going to hit the download button in the top right corner. We're going to leave it as a JPEG. Actually, I might do a PNG. All pages, we only have one. So I'm going to go ahead and download this as is. And let me see if I can get my email open. I do like to show you guys how to edit these within your actual email. So let me just pull that up. Make sure you guys can see it. There we go. So now that I have my email created and downloaded onto my computer, I can go ahead and open my Gmail. So this should be the same as your KW email. However, if you're using a personal Gmail, you can add it here as well. I'm going to go to imgur.com. I will drop this in the chat. With the emails, we do encourage you to host them. Also, it's easier with the new setup that they have plugged into the Gmail, which we'll get there in 1 second. You don't have to have an account for this though. You just come in and hit new post. We can go ahead and find our email signature. Now that we have that, we're going to right click on it on our keyboard, open it in a new tab. Once that opens, again, I'm going to right click. I'm going to copy the image address. We're going to go back to our Gmail and into our settings. So if I click on the settings up here, see all settings. And then I just want to scroll down. And I should be able to find either an email signature that was previously created, or maybe this is just empty for you. It may be just like this. You may just need to hit create new. We'll do class 3-6. And then now we're going to hit this little insert image. It looks kind of like a landscape portrait type thing. We're going to click that. Now this is why it's best to host it. They've recently updated this where you either have to add it to your Google Drive or just paste the URL. We recommend hosting it. We've seen less issues with it. So using that website is super helpful. So we're just going to right click and paste now. When I do that, my signature is going to show up. I can go ahead and click insert, and now I have my signature. I can change the size. I'm going to leave it original. I think it appears the best that way, the most legible. The last thing you want to do, though, is turn on your signature defaults. So do you want your email signature to show up when you're creating new emails? You'll turn it on. Do you also want it to show up when you are replying or forwarding emails? You can turn that on as well. And then lastly, you just want to hit save changes at the bottom. To make sure it's there and working, you can come here and go ahead and compose. You should be able to see your email signature right there in your email. Take a quick look at these questions before we move into our next one. William, I hope I went over your question in great detail. If you have questions, let me know. We set up Canva accounts when we onboard new agents with SLM. However, they are not KW accounts. They are not paid for accounts. They are free. KW does have brand kits available now. However, I believe you have to have a pro account possibly to access them or be using your KW email. Yes, the KW ones that we set up during onboarding are not they're not paid for accounts. They're just accounts we're setting up to help you guys out if you want to use them. Okay, keep on plugging along. I'm gonna close this out. And we're gonna go ahead and hit done. Now I will be able to see this email signature right here in my designs. So if I need to come back and edit something, maybe I wasn't compliant, or maybe I got a logo or a different headshot, I can come in here and easily edit this without having to recreate it from scratch. So it should remain in your designs. Now, the next thing we want to take a quick look at is a social post design. So again, we're going to hit create design. And from here, we're going back into social. And next. Now, with this one, I always like to create something that we can use the KWLS. So I'm going to go ahead and go with a listing, and we're going to take a look at an open house social post. Now, once I'm in here, you'll see I have all of these little like buttons at the top. If I'm looking for a specific size of design, maybe I'm creating bifolds or postcards and I want to find those specific designs, I can click on that. It's going to filter out anything that is not a postcard and remove it. So I'm only seeing postcards. So I'm going to look for social square. You can do social wide or social stories. However, I always feel like the social square translates the best to all of the platforms. So I like to use that one. Now let's go ahead and get this updated. So I'm going to go with this top one today. We'll go ahead and use that. So I'm going to hit use. And from here, we're going to go ahead and start editing our social post. Okay, so I believe I had a previous listing pulled up. Let's go ahead and grab that. Now to pull these photos in, we're going to go to the KWLS, okay? Now we can search for a listing here by listing address, MLS number, the KWLS ID, or listing or co-listing agent. It is going to be the fastest for you to search by the MLS number if you have it. So just keep that in mind. It just makes it faster. I'm going to go ahead and just search the property address here though. And it looks like we're way down here. So I'm going to go ahead and select. Now it should be pulling these listings and all of the details, photos, and everything else directly from the MLS. So all of these photos come from there. And if I click listing details, I'm going to see all of those as well, all the way down to the property description. Okay, so everything is here. So let's go ahead and start swapping our photos here. I'm just going to start replacing. Let's grab this one. These are all pretty much external, so that is okay. Actually, let's do this one. There we go. So now we have all of our photos swapped out. I'm just clicking on the photo I want and hitting that replace button, okay? So it makes it really easy to just quickly swap them, okay? Now next, we want to do our logo. So we're going to come to logos. Go ahead and find ours. Now, in this case, it doesn't matter which color we use as long as it doesn't have white in it because they'll all appear. So we could use the, I'm not sure why it's not giving the replace. That's okay. If you ever run into that, not a big deal. You can just add the new logo on the top and resize it. And actually, I'm going to add this to the top corner instead. We'll go ahead and grab our little disclaimer because am I missing it? I don't see it. We'll unplug that here. We're going to make it much smaller though. Too small. Oops. Now I'm just getting click happy. There we go. Perfect. Now we want to edit our address. Now, one thing I want to point out here is that all of this open house and the address is all one text field. So if I were to come in here and replace this address, it's going to replace all of that text with that one piece of information. So if that is not what you are looking to do, you may need to just manually type some of this. So let's go ahead and do 3585 Anchorage Way. And then we'll put our price here. Okay. So now we have all of that here. We could edit this text if we don't like it, we want to change it, we could certainly do that. Maybe we just want to change the open house text and not the other. I can go ahead and remove that. Let's leave this here. Let's add new text. Let's say we don't want it that big. Ooh, too small. This is where it just kind of, you got to play around with it, is as you change font too, it may change. So as you can see, we have the one that was previously on. I'm just going to grab one. Just click one. You can make it bold. So You can always change the text, separate those if you want them to be too different. Totally up to you on that specific piece. Last thing I'm gonna show you guys is we're gonna swap out this background color if I can. Here we go. So as you can see, if I click on the background, if I want to change this and make this a much different color, let's just go with one of our colors here for fun. Let's do purple, but I'm gonna make it lighter so we can see it. Why? So now we can still see everything. Um, and then last thing I want to do is I like to show you guys these frames. If you want to add your headshot to this, maybe it wasn't on here, you can use these frames. These are a great way to put your photo into that exact space. So if we do the circle, and we want to maybe add Scott's photo right here, we can come in and find that photo of Scott. Replace. It's going to put it in that perfect little circle. And then, yeah, we can be done. However, since this is a social post, we could add some animation to it. So totally up to you if that's something you want to do. But you could come in and play around with the animation here. So you could do any of these that you might want to do. You can edit the duration if you want. You could play around with those. Once you have the animation though, you can go ahead and play it. I'll show you what that looks like. The only thing I mention here is if you're adding animation and you want to use it for social, you want to make sure you download it as a video and GIF, okay? So let's go ahead and do that really quick. So we're going to download. And as you can see in the bottom left of my screen, it is taking a little bit. Anytime it's a video or something like that, it's going to take a little longer to download. So just give it a second. And hopefully it doesn't get stuck. Once this downloads, we'll do it as a image as well, and then we'll go into how we actually post that to social through command really quick. As long as it downloads, but let me check. But there we go. Check this question in the chat really quick. We don't send out the meeting to emails. However, you can find it on our YouTube channel within 24 hours of the class being held, and I can drop that YouTube link in the chat again before we close it. So now I have my video. I'm also going to download this as an image, just a flat image, just in case. So download. Much faster when you're doing a photo, usually. There it goes. Okay. So now we're going to hit done. And we're going to go back to our designs dashboard. Now, again, if I needed to go back and edit something, I can come in here and fix it. Now we want to actually go through how we post this to social media. So I'm going to head into campaigns, which looks like a megaphone. And from there, we're going to hit create campaign. And we're going to do social post. Now, social post is going to go and be displayed on your business pages, whether you're doing Instagram or Facebook or both. It does need to be a business page in order for you to connect. And this will be seen by people that follow you. Okay, so anybody that follows your pages. And once you're here, you'll see that you can select the account you'd like it to post to. So if you want Facebook and Instagram, you can select both. In doing that, you'll see that I get a preview for both of them now. So I have Facebook and Instagram, just giving me a quick little preview of what that will look like when it posts. We can select our content, okay? So this is where we can add emojis, we can add text, we can also pull in our photo or video. So if I click add media, I'm gonna go ahead and see if it will let me drag and drop. There we go. So I've pulled in my little GIF. I have the video. I can go ahead and check these, make sure they're playing, working. Again, you can add more animation, less animation, just do flat image, whatever you'd like. But now we can go ahead and add text. So let's just keep it simple for today. Open house, Saturday. Clearly that's not on our image, so we might want to include that. Let me see what this weekend is. The 8th. 12, 2, 3. You could add some emojis. So let's do palm tree. Maybe we want to add a boat. This is, tropical house. Let's add some fun stuff. You could add a house too. Whatever you want to put here though for your text. You'll see it displaying with the photo. Instagram will be below so you can make sure everything is showing. Once you're done, all you need to do is either schedule the post to go out at a specific time or go ahead and publish it right now. So you have those two options. If you're scheduling, you can click on that calendar, select the date as well as the time when you'd like that to be posted. It does give you the best days to post are Monday, Wednesday, and Friday mornings. So if that helps you determine when you want to post, you can take that into account. Once we're done though, I'm gonna go ahead and let's go ahead and schedule this. I'm gonna come delete it. So we're gonna put it for the 9th. And I'm gonna go ahead and schedule. It's going to give me another preview so I can view both of those. And once I've viewed that, I can go ahead and just hit schedule. Now, once I do that, I'm brought into campaigns still, but now I'm under the social posts, so I can go ahead and take a look at any upcoming posts I might have. This one's not showing because it's in the next week, but if I go over, I can see it right here. I have 10 a.m. Facebook and Instagram post. If I come down, I can see that actual post. I can still go in and make edits. I can also delete it. All of that. So great place to come and check this out. Now I'm going to go ahead and delete this. And that is pretty much our class for today. So if you don't have any questions, feel free to hop off if you want to. If you do have questions though, or there's a different type of design you might want to see really quickly, let me know. We can go through that. I'm going to go ahead and stop record so that we can get through any questions you guys might have or additional designs you guys might like to see. And again, if you don't have any questions, feel free to hop off. Thank you for coming, and I hope that this was a helpful class.